What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie83 back with another react. You know what I'm saying? Today we're reacting to King Von's. People saying he might have knew too much, saying that's what might have got him clocked. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't into the streets real heavy, but I did like his music. I did follow his movement. I was with the movement. I liked his music a lot. So with that being said, let's get right into the video, and make sure you drop a sub on me. Make sure you hit the like button and drop a comment, even if you ain't got nothing nice to say. It helps a whole lot. I'll take the bad backlash too. Just, it is what comes with it. But with that being said, let's get right into the video. Boo! Disclaimer, this is
King
for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Chicago, with some mourning his loss, while others viewed it as the inevitable outcome of his violent past. Every gang member in the city knew exactly who he was, and it's safe to say that his reputation wasn't built on the best foundations.
Dirk was scared of Von. They knew what type of animal he was before he got out of jail. Like, this dude is a killing. They wanted to be around him. Von got the streets. Dirk ain't got the streets, and then he got all the real members behind Von. Like, all the real, Dirk paying for friends.
Slump me right now. He said Dirk paying for friends? Bro, you ain't got that right, son.
From a young age, Devin Daquan Bennett, better known as King Von, aligned himself with the Black Disciples, making powerful allies but even more dangerous enemies. So why was he killed? Who was responsible for pulling the trigger? And what was the real motive behind his death? To understand the full story,
because they was scared of that man. Them boys was scared. They was scared of that man. That's why.
We need to go back to the very beginning.
He was a serial killer who bragged about killing people, and he professed and confessed to be a demon.
He was dead, bro. If he wanted you out.
Bro, I think that Charleston White was talking about Folio rate at that time. Don't quote me, but I think he was talking about Folio rate in that clip. They got this cut up.
He'll go do it himself on feet by himself.
Von gave me a lot of passes. He could have killed me a couple times.
I was happy as hell when I found out Von was dead. I cooked for the whole day.
I was relieved for the community, man, because he was over there torturing them guys, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Something was wrong with him. That's not human, man. You're not regular, man. He was a devil, man.
This just go to show you, when you in the streets, if you get passed the way you get dead end, people ain't gonna talk. They talking bad about him and was just hanging with him before he got killed. Before he got, you know what I'm saying? They was just friends with him, and now they're talking bad about him because he ain't there. That's how the streets be. When you go to jail or you pass away, the streets be like that. They rocking with you while you here. When you gone, they don't know you.
How are you rich and you're robbing people? You robbing producers. You robbing rappers. You got money.
So from what I hear, that documentary proves everything to be true. He is a serial killer, and he was a demon in human form.
Von grew up in
He was definitely talking about Folio right there.
No Block, a notoriously violent neighborhood, alongside his mother and 6 half-siblings. His life took a tragic turn when he was just 11 years old. His father, Silk, a well-known gang member, was shot and killed in a botched drug deal. Von later admitted that he struggled to sleep at night after losing his father, a trauma that shaped much of his worldview.
I'll bet, but some of us ain't never had one, you feel me?
Von frequently mentioned Silk in his music, paying tribute to him in lyrics where he would shout out his name, often followed by "Rest in Peace."
Can I say I was kind of happy? No, seriously, I was though. It's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, he did. But I was happy as hell when I found out Von was dead. I cooked for the whole day.
Even though the incident happened in 2005, Von continued to talk about his father until the day he died. The pain and loss he carried from a young age influenced his decisions and the life he chose to pursue.
He got that motherfucking child, got that Hellcat in that big boy.
But just because his father was absent didn't mean he lacked a support system. His mother's home was located at the corner of 64th Street and Martin Luther King Drive, an area heavily associated with the Black Disciples. This put him in close proximity to 2 rising rap stars, Lil Durk and Chief Keef,
Vaughn, King Vaughn, he was the realest person I had in the industry. He used to be on house arrest. I'm coming to him, to his house. I'm pulling up. They'll give me what I need. We'll kick it, chill, play 2K, whatever, to make him feel good while he was on house arrest, because he never liked being on house arrest. Whenever I hit him, it was never like, all right, get what I'm getting and leave. I actually kicked it with bro and spent time with bro.
Who would go on to shape Chicago's drill music scene. His environment exposed him to street life early, and his connections within the Black Disciples set the
It's a product of his environment, man. That's what I'm saying. If you're young enough and you got somebody there for you, like your pop or whoever, telling you in your head when you're 6, 7 years old that the streets ain't no good, stay out the streets, that none of that matters. When you get out there by yourself, when you're out there by yourself as a man, a young man, whatever, you out there by yourself, it's them decisions you make then that's going to set you up for your future.
Stage for his future. Vaughn and Lil Durk were childhood friends who grew up together, shaping each other's music and navigating life on the street.
Most of us just didn't have that though. Like I didn't have that. I was screwed up from a jit.
Streets. Their deep connection extended beyond music. Vaughn earned a reputation as one of the most feared shooters in Chicago. His notoriety was so widespread that many gangs avoided conflict with Lil Durk simply because of how close he and Vaughn were. Vaughn often referred to himself as the grandson of King David, the activist who founded the Black Disciples. This nickname became a topic of debate within the gang. Some members embraced it, viewing Vaughn as a new leader in their ranks, while others saw it as a sign of disrespect to the founder. While serving time for multiple offenses.
How's it disrespect though? Somebody tell me, leave it in the comments how that's disrespectful. If anything, all of us out here would be saying, oh yeah, that's my pop. That's my pop. That's my big homie right there. You know what I'm saying?
Vaughn claimed that fellow inmates frequently told him he reminded them of King David. This reinforced his belief that he was destined for something greater, but instead of turning away from the streets, he leaned into them even further. The turning point in his life came in 2005 when his father was killed in a shooting. That loss sent him down a path of crime and violence, solidifying his role in the streets. Between 2008 and 2009, Vaughn relocated to an area known as Weak City, where he expanded his connections with local gang members. He found a sense of belonging among them, but he had no idea what kind of life he was signing up for. Some of the people he befriended during this time included Odie, T-Roy, Big A, Trey 5, White, Imuna, Boss Top, and others. Names that would later become well known in Chicago's
that was all the hitters, boy. I named them all.
Gang history. Vaughn also transferred schools, attending Hyde Park Academy, where he encountered individuals from the rival Gangsta Disciples set. This is where he first crossed paths with names like FBG Duck and Lil Mark, two people he would hear about repeatedly as time went on. The fights he got into at school were just the beginning of his reputation. He was making enemies early on, and given the direction his life was taking, those conflicts were only going to escalate. But even that wasn't as reckless as his next move, bringing firearms to school just to show them off to his classmates. This marked the start of his full descent into street life, where every action pushed him further into a dangerous and deadly world.
Right.
It's surprising that he was never caught
why they keep showing him though? Why they keep showing him?
Expelled on the spot. The first time he landed behind bars was in January 2011 at just 16 years old. He was sent to juvenile detention for armed robbery. It was already clear that education wasn't his priority. While in prison, he earned his GED and took a few classes at South Suburban College after his release. 2 years later, he was arrested.
I ain't gonna lie, that jail done graduated a lot of us. A lot of us done got graduated from them jail walls.
For possessing a firearm without a license.
Y'all wanna know
By
my
18,
story? Let me know in the
trajectory of his
comments.
life had completely shifted. Vaughn eventually dropped out of college and had no interest in being an average citizen. In July 2014, at 19, he faced his first trial involving 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. This was part of a violent gang-related incident, but it was just the beginning of his growing rivalries and deadly conflicts. On October 13th, 2012, Vaughn was out for blood, saying he hadn't dropped a body in a long time. Since Vaughn was from O'Block, one of his main...
How you crave something like that? what? That's like a man, a cigarette, not on promote smoking or nothing, but somebody passed me a piece of bubble gum. Like, man, I ain't had some bubble gum. You in the joint like, man, I ain't had some roast beef in a long time. I miss some pork chops. This man in there talking about I miss somebody. I'm ready to take somebody. What?
Rival gangs was STL-EBT, also known as Tookaville. He tweeted at them, saying the gang would be shut down fast and dared someone to stop him. That night, Vaughn was with T-Roy and Jay Munna when they caught Modell, a member of STL-EBT, walking with friends and talking to a girl. Vaughn stepped out of his car and fired multiple shots into Modell's chest. Modell's cousin tried to protect him, but that didn't stop Vaughn. He was only 18, but already ruthless enough to keep firing, ultimately paralyzing Modell's cousin. Vaughn was making new enemies almost every week. It was clear he was fully devoted to O'Block and would eliminate anyone standing in his way. One might assume that taking Modell's life would have satisfied his violent urges, but that wasn't the case. Less than 3 weeks later, Vaughn struck again. This time, he wasn't accompanied by T-Roy, who was trying to catch up. Vaughn saw this as competition, trying to rack up more bodies than his closest ally. T-Roy was allegedly responsible for the murders of Dale from STL, Doc from EBT, and Dirty Rel from Jero City. While some believe Vaughn's hit list only included Doc and Modell, the true suspect in Doc's murder remains unknown. Many in Chicago believe it was either Vaughn or another O-Block member. Dale, Doc, Modell, and Dirty Rel were all key figures in their respective gangs, and their deaths made headlines across Chicago. Their families were devastated, but for Vaughn, it was just another step in his
Man, you got like 4 or 5 of them talking about, yeah, man, I can't even wear all these hats.
Violent path. His next target was P5 Crack from Jero City. As usual, Vaughn tweeted an hour before making his move. This time, he was accompanied by J Money, Big A, and LA Capone. There was a mix of affiliations in his crew, as Capone was from the 600 sect. The 4 of them ambushed P5, who attempted to flee. J Money shot him in the back, causing him to collapse. Vaughn then stood over his body and shot him multiple times in the face before they fled the scene. P5 was pronounced dead on the 6200 block of South Eberhard Avenue. Vaughn mocked his victim once again, taking to Twitter to brag about it. Since P5's murder took place early in the morning, Vaughn tweeted, "The early bird catches the worm." By then, Vaughn was a marked man in Tookaville and Jero City, but he wasn't done. The next month, he set his sights back on STL.
He went out and caught a hat. It was said the early bird gets the worm.
EBT, treating murder like an obsession. Vaughn started calling himself captain of the drill team. He believed he was untouchable, both by rival gangs and law enforcement. He frequently boasted on social media about never getting caught red-handed.
Nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. As soon as you say that never word, that shit come to get you. Now, you know what I mean? And you ain't never above the police.
And even if he did, he vowed never to snitch. Vaughn and T-Roy soon teamed up again, this time setting up Bostrel under the pretense of selling him a gun. On November 7th, a Tookaville member noticed several O-Block members waiting for him at the meetup point and immediately tried to escape. Like many of Vaughn's previous targets, he didn't make it out alive. T-Roy and Vaughn later tweeted the hashtag #HashManDown just hours after taking out Bostrel. Vaughn then targeted someone from Tay City. A week after Bostrel's murder, he assembled a crew that included Bite Down, Blast His, and Nthang, all from the 600 sect. They ambushed 32-year-old baby James, shooting him in the shoulder and chest.
Why you're old as 32 and you out in a gang war?
Vaughn used this as another opportunity to boast about his growing list of GDs he had allegedly taken out. Ironically, despite all these alleged killings, Vaughn wasn't arrested for murder, only for a gun charge. None of the previous homicides were questioned. People in the streets began to see him as untouchable, but some also started to speculate. The fact that he avoided charges for 5 murders, even after spending 2 years in jail, led to rumors that he might be cooperating with the authorities.
What? Nah, you can never put that on Vaughn's name. You can never say that.
In Chicago, being labeled a snitch is a death sentence. As whispers about Vaughn spread, he became an even bigger target. Heated arguments with rival gangs escalated online, and Vaughn aimed to settle the score with members of 051 Young Money, a feared faction in the city. This was a dangerous move, especially since Melly from 051 Young Money was one of the most feared shooters in Chicago at the time. Many believed the rivalry would lead to an all-out war. However, things took an unexpected turn. Le Capone was murdered, and every gang turned its attention to 051 Young Money, as Melly's reputation had made him one of the most respected figures in the city. Word spread that 051 Mick was responsible for Le Capone's murder, and O'Block was ready for retaliation. Tensions escalated even further when Lil Mark released No Competition in March 2014, a direct diss aimed at O'Block and 600. To add insult to injury, the track was a remix of Lil Durk's Competition, using his own beat against him. Lil Mark openly dissed O'Block, calling himself a BDK, short for Black Disciples Killer.
What?
His boldness made him the biggest target in Chicago. Just 72 hours after releasing No Competition, he survived 2 attempted hits. The streets wanted him silenced permanently. On March 28,
Dang, he dropped a song in the same night the streets came after him? Wow.
2014, around 1:30 p.m., Lil Mark was waiting for a bus near 415E 51st Street, east of King Drive, dangerously close to O-Block territory. A silver minivan pulled up, and moments later, gunshots rang out. By the time the dust settled, Lil Mark was dead. Few were surprised at who might have been responsible.
Dang. Up in smoke, Lil Mark.
King Von appeared to reference the murder in tweets, writing, "Whack on an asterisk, asterisk, asterisk on St. Lawrence and chill on 600, asterisk." He even tweeted about shooting a target in the face to ensure a quick death. At the time, Vaughn was on house arrest, recently released after a gun possession charge. He made it clear he intended to get back to business once the ankle monitor came off. He even boasted about buying a new gun and wanting to test it on a drive-by. Vaughn practically live-tweeted the whole event, posting updates about being stuck in traffic and picking up D-Rose before the shooting. The streets saw it as yet another message. Nobody who disrespected O-Block would be safe. Another O-Block member was involved in the hit. The minivan used in Lil Mark's murder was later found abandoned and burned on the 3700 block of South Ellis Avenue. Any DNA evidence that could have linked the shooters was completely destroyed in the fire. After the shooting, both D-Rose and King Von took to Twitter to mock Lil Mark. Von even took the disrespect further by making fun of Tuka, Lil Mark's younger brother. Tuka remains one of the most disrespected figures in drill history. Rappers like Lil Durk, Chief Keef, and King Von constantly referenced him in their music, turning him into a symbol of gang rivalry rather than just a young life lost. Some believed that this was the peak of Von's violent reputation, but others saw it as just another chapter in his bloody history.
Right.
Was the self-proclaimed grandson of King David finally finished, or was he about to create more enemies than ever? 051. Young Money had already lost Tuka, then Lil Mark. Now, they were ready to retaliate. On April 11th, 2014, 17-year-old Gakira Barnes, known as K.I. among the GDs, was shot and killed by a masked gunman in a gray hoodie and blue jeans. Police quickly pointed fingers at King Von, holding him for questioning. However, despite an eyewitness naming him as the shooter, no concrete evidence emerged to charge him. With no forensic proof and conflicting testimonies, Von walked free once again.
Dang,
K.I. was
he got away again, bro. He got away again, but he said he wanted to, you know what I'm saying? He wanted to get her before he got her, you know what I'm saying?
The sister of Taekwon Taylor, a GD killed in 2012. After losing him, she became one of the most feared female shooters in Chicago. Her mother believed she was just a student staying out of trouble, but in reality, K.I. had been involved in multiple shootings. She taunted rival gangs on social media, frequently posting her location to prove she wasn't afraid. O-Block members, including King Von and T-Roy, kept track of her movements. Eventually, they found an opportunity. K.I. was walking the street with FBG Buddha when a car pulled up. Inside were Von, T-Roy, and Big A. Without hesitation, they opened fire, hitting K.I. 9 times. King Von was deeply tied to Lil Durk and his OTF movement, while Quando Rondo was affiliated with NBA Youngboy. Their personal conflict wasn't significant. What fueled the tension was the ongoing rivalry between Durk and Youngboy.
Facts.
Since Von was Durk's closest ally, he stood by him through every fight and diss, making him a direct target in the escalating feud. Fans noticed that Von had posted photos with Youngboy's ex, Yanaya, sparking speculation that the two were more than just making music. Even though Von denied any deeper involvement, people believed the situation added fuel to the fire. In a video, Von...
You dang right. How would y'all feel if somebody posted your ex in a video? Like, if you wasn't with somebody else. Like, if you wasn't with somebody else, you were just by yourself, and somebody posted with your ex you just broke up with. That would sting a little bit, I'd imagine.
Even admitted that he didn't have any real beef with Youngboy, stating, "Ain't no rap beef and ain't no real beef unless somebody got shot or something."
Facts.
Quando Rondo, however, never gave a clear explanation for his role in the conflict. When asked about it, he would often deflect, saying that when God decides it's time, it's time.
Hey, that's
Some claim
real.
the beef originated from Twitter, where threats were exchanged, and things spiraled out of control. Even Lil Reese got involved, allegedly trying to strike Von where it hurt the most. There's much more that happened behind the scenes, which is why the drill movement and its history runs
But how's he know what hurts Von the most? You're not supposed to let people know that.
so deep. Some believe that Lil Tim, the man responsible for Von's death, was simply luckier than Von's previous rivals. Regardless of the cause, Von's death was a major blow to O-Block, Lil Durk, and the entire OTF label. His career was just taking off, and had he lived, he and Durk might have become one of the most dominant forces in the rap game. But after years of playing with fire, Von met his end when he least expected it. Many still wonder, what would Chicago's drill scene look like today if Von was still alive?
Nobody knows. But that's what it's saying, man. You got to stay out of them streets, because they end up either there, where Von's at now, or behind bars where Durk's heading now. I mean, look what Durk's going through now. But make sure you like and subscribe, man. We're trying to get there. We're trying to do it. Peace.